All right. Well, hey, everybody. Thanks for checking out this week's sermon recap video. We finally have clouds again. How exciting is that? Also, we spent our Sunday morning going through the book of Matthew, chapter 5, verses 27 to 31, talking about some difficult things that don't generally generate a lot of excitement, and yet they're critically important. Jesus reminded us how seriously we need to take sin, particularly the sin of adultery, not just the unfaithfulness in a physical act, but also the unfaithfulness in our own heart when we look at and objectify someone and lust after them. Jesus reminds us that if we have that in our heart, then in our heart we have indeed committed adultery. And Jesus says you got to take that so seriously that you need to be willing to pull out your eye and to cut off your right hand. And so I challenge you, Christian, if you're watching this, how seriously are you taking your war on sin? Whether it's lust or anything else, how seriously are you taking that war on sin in your life? Now, our battle against sin is a grace and spirit empowered battle built on that foundation of salvation by grace through faith, not of anything that we do, but through what Jesus has done. And yet, Paul says that he beats his body and makes it his slave. He brings his life, even his material existence, into conformity with the spiritual reality of who he is in Jesus. And brothers and sisters, we need to attack sin in our life with that same kind of intensity. Well, adultery doesn't just happen in the context of looking upon a woman with lust. Adultery happens in the context of many divorces, which we recognize is so common in our day today. You know, we went through a whole bunch of things that the ancient rabbis deemed as legitimate grounds for divorce, and we had a good laugh about that. And then there's this sad realization that today in our society, you just don't even have to have a reason to give up on your marriage. Well, God takes marriage very, very seriously. And the reason for that is that marriage is supposed to be a reflection of God and his relationship to his people. And when we commit adultery, whether it's through longing after someone else, lusting after them, or whether it is through severing our responsibilities to our spouse in divorce, we destroy the image of God and his people, that relationship in our own marriages, because we destroy the picture that we're supposed to be painting. God is faithful. God is faithful to his people. I'm reminded of the story of Hosea, and I won't tell you the whole story, but it's amazing. You need to read Hosea chapters 1 through 3 if you've not done it, where God instructs Hosea to be married to an unfaithful woman and tells him that he is to go and to seek her and to redeem her and to restore his relationship with her. Well, God says, this is indicative of the way that I treat my people. He says, in that day, I will also make a covenant for them with the beasts of the field and the birds of the sky and the creeping things of the ground. I will abolish the bow and the sword from their land, and I will make them lie down in safety. God says, I'm going to bring them into peace, and I will betroth you to me forever. Yes, I will betroth you to me in righteousness and in justice, in loving kindness and in compassion. I will betroth you to me in faithfulness, and then you will know the Lord. God is faithful. He pursues us, and we want our relationship to our spouse to reflect that. Pray with me that the church would be filled with couples who are married and reflect the character of God in their marriages. Pray that our churches would be filled with singles who refuse to look upon others with lust in their eyes and in their hearts, and who battle against sin and those tendencies of a fallen heart. I pray that that'll be the case for us. Join me in prayer that that will be true. Remember that when we fail, we run to Jesus for grace and we find it in Him. Come to seek Jesus with us on Wednesday night as we talk about evangelism, and this coming Sunday as we continue our study through the Gospel of Matthew. Thanks.